My webpage will be talking about the impact of digital forensics. I use the website cPanel to create this webpage, and I use my own name for the URL. I then created the different web pages by editing an HTML code and a CSS code. Here is my main page's HTML code, and some different things I put into the HTML code was JavaScript. So when you go onto the main page, for example, it shows the current date, and it'll change every single day to the date it is. Then I used some images with the image tag, a title using the H1 tag, and an H3 tag to put my description. So here's my CSS style page, and for this I can give different styles to all my web pages. So for example, to my home page, I gave it a background color, some margin, some padding, a yellow border, and text decoration. And you can see this when you enter the page. Here's the yellow border, the white background, some padding, and no text decoration. Also on every page, I gave it a footer. So for down here to click to every web page, the background is green, and when you hover over the link, it turns yellow. So you can go to home page, previous, or next. To edit the code for this, I made a footer. So I gave it the background color, some padding, a border, and for the button, I gave it some color, and then when you hover over it, it gives a certain color. So these are all my codes for that. Next, for my web page, I personally created the background and the logo and the banner. So for here, I have my banner and logo, and then on my main page, I have my background. So both of these I created myself, and by doing that, I made it on Pixlr. And Pixlr, you can just upload any images from your computer. So if I do that, I would have my images here, and for my banner, I use some filter like noise to give it the green effect, some uniqueness to make it look like that, and then I use the layer effect to cut out the computer. So I would go here, I cut out the computer from one image and placed it on to the background of this. And then I use the text tool to add all of this. I did the same for my home page. So I cut out this red hand right here and then layered it onto this background image. And for my GIF, I used a GIF Maker website, which is really easy because all you had to do was upload the images to the site, and then it automatically turned into a GIF. So as you can see, my images are changing and fading very slowly. Now we'll be going through the different web pages of my website. So the first page is the purpose page. The first question is A. Indicate the name of the innovation and provide a clear description of its intended purpose, such as the problem that the innovation solved, the opportunity that the innovation created, or the discovery that the innovation made possible. So my innovation is obviously digital forensics, which is a branch of forensic science. It recovers and investigates material found in digital devices like phones, computers, tablets, and more. And it's made it impossible for anyone to hide stuff on the internet. So below I have a diagram showing the general process of digital forensics. So the first step is data identification, next is project planning, then data capture, then data processing, data analysis, data display, and then it goes into a report. My next web page is the effects and impacts page. And the first question is, explain the benefit and or harmful effect of the innovation. So overall, digital forensics has been a huge benefit because it is keeping us safe from hackers around the world. Everyday people's social media accounts, bank accounts, credit card information that's stored online are hacked, and it could be impossible to fix just by that one person. So digital forensics overall can help restore those credentials by tracking down where the hacking came from, deleting specific accounts, or hacking back into the original account. Below I have a graph that I personally made from my data I got from Google Forms. So I used Google Forms to take a survey asking people about their opinions on digital forensics. After everyone answered it, I put the results on a Google spreadsheet, sorted it out by what kind of impact people thought they believed digital forensics had on them, and then made a graph out of it. So this indicates the number of people who believed in what, and this is the reason. So about 32 people have said that digital forensics has not impacted their lives. A couple said that it keeps them safe. One said it kept their city safe. Another person said it made their city safer. And one person said it actually saved their life. Then another person was just unsure of the impact it had on them. So my next question is, explain the impact that the innovation has had on society, economy, and our culture. So digital forensics has helped our society tremendously. It's given a huge advantage to law enforcement because it makes their jobs easier. So for example, they've been able to find evidence much easier to solve certain cases. A lot of cases they deal with is to figure out where cyberbullying has come from, tracking down and removing child pornography, cyberstalking, issues of copyright, and online predators. Some bigger cases they've dealt with is finding evidence behind terrorist attacks, including ISIS, which I have in my video down below, but I will not show. My last question on this webpage is indicate one field other than computer science which this innovation has impacted or has the potential to impact. Describe the impact. So as I stated before, digital forensics has impacted our society by giving a huge advancement in law enforcement. It is used as a collection, preservation, analysis, and presentation of evidence in a court depending on the crime case. So anything that has been put on the internet, law enforcement can find, even if it's from yesterday or 20 years ago. And with digital forensics, so many crimes have been solved that couldn't have been solved without it. And in this graph, we can see how that is true. This is the forensic science impact curve, and with digital forensics, we can see how much evidence has been found to solve cases. Now below, I have a video of a college student expressing her beliefs on digital forensics. And I made this video by recording all the clips with my iPhone, and then uploading them to YouTube and use the YouTube editor to make it into one single clip. I added some of the music the YouTube editor provided for my opening slide and then published it onto my YouTube channel. So now I will play the video for you. Do you know what digital forensics is? Yes. Do you believe it has a positive or negative impact on society?
Positive.
Why?
Well, because it helps trace back information on social media or deleted emails and texts that could be used to help solve crimes. Without technology, a lot of crime cases today wouldn't be able to be solved, and a lot of crime cases in the past weren't able to be solved because we didn't have the advanced technology to do that.
Do you believe digital forensics affects you directly?
Yeah.
So now here we have a regular person just looking at a picture to find the time it was taken and the exact location of where the picture is taken. And this is just an example of how digital forensics is used daily. Moving on to my next webpage, we have the technical aspects. First question is, describe how a user interacts with the innovation. So an everyday internet user is always interacting with digital forensics because they are the ones who create it, consume it, and log not only their digital words into it, but their physical activities. Another way they interact daily is when they visit any web page. They're leaving their mark with every link they click on and what page they stay on. So the company who owns that website can go back and track them by seeing where they were when they went on that web page, how long they stayed on that web page, and what types of items they were looking at, and also what they bought. So here I have some of the websites that website owners use to track it. So we have Google Analytics, eLogic, AW Stats, W3 Counter, and W3 Pearl. And here's a picture of an example of website owners or business people looking at the stats of their web page. The next question on this webpage is, describe in detail how the innovations technology incorporates at least one of the big ideas of abstraction, algorithms, programming, and or the internet to accomplish its purpose. So this one's a pretty tricky one and confusing to understand, so I will just read it out. When preserving data to be used in a court or prosecution, digital forensic scientists use the hash algorithm. A forensic hash is used for verification, identification, and authentication of filed data. It is a form of checksum, and a checksum is a mathematical calculation which adds up different bits in a data string to provide a certain value. The process of a forensic hash is using a mathematical function and applying it to the data collected. Then this results in a hash value, which is a unique identifier for the data collected. So think of it overall as a fingerprint or a DNA test. Then when the hash algorithm is used, it creates a string of numbers for a digital file, and any change to that data results in a change of the hash. So down below, I have a diagram of different hash algorithms. So for ABC, the hash sum is this number. For hello world, this is the hash number. And for this sentence right here, this is the hash number. My next webpage will talk about the relationship to data. The first question is, describe how the innovation consumes data as input, produces data as output, and or transforms data. So digital forensics is technically consuming data 24/7 because everything a person does on a phone, website, computer, email, and more is being stored as data forever. And people can go back and look at that data whenever they want. Even if you delete something on a device or on the internet, it does not permanently go away. Everything done on the internet has left its mark forever and can be consumed by anyone who goes back deep enough to search for it. Digital forensic scientists can go back into a device or cloud if information was stored there, and then retrieve the data from it, no matter the time period, and then transform it back to its original state. From there, scientists can then produce data in a testimony or in any court case as evidence. My next question is, describe at least one data storage concern, data privacy concern, or data security concern related to the innovation. So digital forensics is a huge risk to personal privacy and data security. As a digital forensic scientist, it is their job to go back and seize data from a device, but sometimes they will come across data that they don't need and that may be personal. So sometimes they may come across passwords, bank account information, personal photos, or personal messages. They can come across anything on a device. And there have been 6 tools created in the past to wipe out unnecessary information while a digital forensic scientist is looking through a device, but all of them have failed. Now finally moving on to my last webpage. This is my reference page to show where I got all my information from. And one of the most helpful websites that helped me make this website was Gilware.com. And on this, they had an article on digital forensics. So this website basically explained digital forensics, its privacy issues, and basically everything you need to know about it. It even explained some different branches of it, like computer forensics, mobile device forensics, cloud forensics, network forensics, and a bunch of things on the internet that impact digital forensics. It also gave some diagrams and charts with some mini paragraphs to describe how digital forensics has impacted the internet. Thank you for watching my presentation of my website on the impact of digital forensics. For more information, visit my website.